Here's a really interesting one that sort of surprised me a little bit.
Here's a really interesting one that sort of surprised me a little bit.
Here's Rogan saying that eventually people are going to realize we need religion.
I honestly am very shocked to hear this from Rogan.
I just didn't think this was something he believed. I don't know if being in Texas around the people he's around lately.
Back on the program is David. I'm not quite sure I understand Pladman. I love this guy. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know what's going on. He's going to watch Joe Rogan clip. I notice a lot of these podcasts study Joe Rogan. They study him like how scientists study black men with syphilis. I don't know how you guys feel about Joe Rogan. I like him. He's fine. I more so like news radio. I think he gives one hell of a sales pitch for America. Imagine him doing stand-up comedy in another country, and then immediately after the show, an audience member walks up to him and says, "Hey, Joe Rogan, you're from America, right?" And he says, "Yes." And they say, "Awesome. Well, what do you do there?" And he says, "Well, I'm a stand-up comedian. I just got done doing it. You just watched me do it." And they're like, "Oh, that's what that was. Oh, are you successful at it?" "Very." "Wow, America sounds like a great place." So, and then they move to America. Legally, hopefully, right? Or not. Let's watch this clip of David Pladman watching Joe Rogan.
I think as time rolls on, people are going to understand the need to have some sort of divine structure to things, some sort of belief in the sanctity of love and of truth. And a lot of that comes from religion. A lot of people's moral compass and the guidelines that they've used to follow to live a just and righteous life has come from religion. And unfortunately, a lot of very intelligent people, they dismiss all of the positive aspects of religion because they think that the stories are mere superstitious fairy tales, that, you know, they have no place in this modern world, and, you know, we're inherently good and your ethics are based on your own moral compass and we all have one. And that's not necessarily true. We need Jesus. I think, for real. Like, if he came back now, it'd be great. Like, Jesus, if you're thinking about coming back right now, now's a good time. Pretty soon, yeah.
Rogan thinks we need some kind of outside structure, which, in all honesty, I mean, yeah, probably, right? I'm not a super religious person myself, maybe if at all, but I can definitely see the value in religion. But let's let Pladman play around and see what he's going to come up with, all right? It's going to be good, I'm sure.
About hearing this from Rogan about it's going to be clear over time that we have this need for religion as providing a divine structure. As we've learned more about the natural world over decades, centuries, and millennia, religiosity has declined. In fact, much of the...
I'm going to let it play in a second. Just hold on. Religiosity. Didn't even know that was a word. What I've learned about liberals is it's very, very, very important for them to express intellect. Intellect is like the biggest thing in the world for these guys. Smart, like they look at David Pakman like he's a fucking god. He's the smartest man in the world. He can debate anyone. He's just a really smart guy who knows words like religiosity. I'm just putting that out there. All right.
Impetus for religiosity to begin with was to fill gaps of unanswered questions and gaps in knowledge. And when he talks about the need for a divine structure, you really don't need a divine or religious basis to generate a structure that helps you understand morality and love and truth and all of it. You have just as many, if not more, secular philosophies and humanistic principles and ethical reasoning that's independent of religious doctrine. You see it around the world when we talk about altruism, community support systems, secular ethics, secular legal systems, mutual respect, rather than religious imperatives. There's no shortage. So the idea that you can only get that, as Rogan says, you can't really get it anywhere else. We know that you can.
So as Pladman points out, religiosity has went down. That is true. So let's see if there's a correlation between religiosity going down and how things might be right now, right? Here's from Bernie Sanders. This has got to be like this guy's hero. Maybe his dad, maybe his father. I'm not sure. uncle, perhaps. Both, I think, Jays. I think, are they both? I don't want to be anti-Semitic. Are they both Jerusalems? Pladman and Sanders are both Jerusalems, or no? Let's Jeremiah find out, and we'll see what jokes we can or cannot make. Okay, Bernie Sanders. America is facing a mental health crisis. So that's just interesting, right? Religion goes down, mental health crisis goes up. Probably a coincidence. Overdoses, just in general, overdose deaths rose from 2019 to 2021. Just another little part of what's going on in society right now, since religiosity has been going down. Polyamory. The surprising political evolution of being in a horror relationship. They have like shows on polyamory or something. Right. And with all this fun, good time stuff, obviously we're doing very well. Things are going very well. But suicide rate has risen by 16%. So that's just what's going on, you know, in America when I guess religiosity is going down. So I guess Pladman's making a pretty good point right now. What else does he have to say? Hold on. Let me show you. I was out and about, and I actually spotted David Pladman. I snapped a pic. So here's David Pladman right now. I got this pic of him, you know. Here's my I was gonna say impression. Here's a reenactment of David Pladman going to a grocery store. Okay. He's walking, goes inside. He sees someone who works there. Excuse me. Do you guys sell any milk here? Absolutely. It's in the dairy section. Huh. I'm not quite sure I understand. I got to go make a video about this. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get anything.
Now, in terms of this whole thing about the sanctity of love and of truth, it's true there are lots of religions that promote the sanctity of love and truth. They often mix it in with horrible stuff, like the only valid love is that between a man and a woman, for example. So there's...
What are the other examples? Name another example of the horrific things mixed in. A man and a woman? Icky. Ew. Making babies, having families. That's disgusting. So gross is that, says David Pladman. David Pladman thinks sex between a man and a woman is icky. You know, all these, they say all the evil things come from religion, but all the recent evil things came from non-religion, like Nazis, right? I think Pladman, fucking David Plantation, that's what I'm thinking he is. I think David Pladman's got a new name, David Plantation. Jeremiah, what else do we have?